What's going on, boxing fans? It's Julian Williams with The Distance. I'm up early this morning here to do a fantasy video. Smoking Joe Frazier versus the Brown Bomber, Joe Louis. From Prime Ali versus Tyson, one of my subscribers, of course. So I'm going to break down this fight. You know, when I thought about this fight last night before I went to bed, I thought maybe this would be an easy fight to break down. I thought it was an easy fight to break down because, I thought that hands down, Joe Louis, beats Smoking Joe Frazier, but it doesn't really come that easily. Joe Frazier definitely was a swarmer compared to Joe Louis, who's a boxer, a very skilled boxer at that. But at the same time, Joe Frazier had a lot of skill as well. If you break down the fights, both of them have, very unique punching power. Both of them have very unique styles, and both of them put their punches together very well. So they both of them, didn't just swing. They would throw, very precise shots, that would mostly land. I'm not really sure of the connect percentages of both fighters. There wasn't a combi box or whatever back then, but from what I've seen both fighters, and I've seen plenty of fights with both of them, they did put their punches together, very well. In a fight like this, I think that, I like that Prime brought up two fighters from the 15 round era. I'm glad that he brought two fighters from that era up. So it makes it a bit easier to break down, because if you have a fighter that's from a 12 round era and a fighter from the 15 round era, that's very hard to analyze. So I'm glad they did bring up two fighters from a 15 round era, but in this matchup, I just see Joe Louis trying to stay away from Joe Frazier the whole fight, because if Joe Frazier is able to come forward and swarm you with a lot of shots, come forward and throw a lot of shots, then pretty much he has you. He has you he has you fighting his fight if he comes forward, because Joe Frazier's goal was to get you on the ropes and start hitting you to the body, and it's evident in all his famous fights. And the fighter that he couldn't get to the ropes, George Foreman, he couldn't do much with him, and he ended up being knocked out. So if Joe Frazier can't get you on the ropes, then he's gonna have a lot of trouble if he can't swarm you, if he can't make you take a step back, because that's what Frazier does. Frazier wants you to step back. He wants you to step back, but at the same time, Joe Louis was a fighter who was able to go back. He could fight going backward. Similar to the Ricky Hatton knockout from Floyd Mayweather with the check left hook. Joe Louis actually did it before. Went backwards, and he hit a guy with a counter check left hook, or a counter left hook, close. It was a similar rendition, but the guy didn't hit the ring post or anything, but he did go to sleep. So it was a very graceful knockout. But Joe Louis could fight, coming forward, could fight going backwards, could fight from the outside, fight in the inside. So the adaptability of Joe Louis, I think, wins in this matchup, because Joe Frazier did throw a lot of wide shots compared to Joe Louis's short shots. Joe Louis didn't throw too wide, he didn't throw too short. His punches landed and they were just right, and his ability to slip shots and counter very well, I think, will be trouble for Joe Frazier, because, and on top of that, Joe Frazier fought a lot of guys who didn't like to take that step back. Ali was one of the guys. He was the first man to defeat Ali, you have to give him credit for that. But on top of that, he caught Muhammad Ali going backward, and Ali, hit the canvas. You know, and if you catch Ali right, when he's moving, like in the Henry Cooper fight, he'll go down if you catch him in a good spot. And it's like that with every fighter, as I like to state. But I do think that Joe Louis would beat Joe Frazier. I think he would knock him out in probably the 9th round. No, I wouldn't even go as far as say 9th round. I think 15th round. I'll say 15th round. I say Joe Louis knocks out Joe Frazier, because Joe Frazier can't really smother Joe Louis, a full 15, because Joe Louis is going to land his shots as well. On top of that, Joe Louis actually wants a fighter to come forward, so he could counter and slip their shots. So basically, Joe Louis will kind of play Joe Frazier's game, which will make it Joe Louis's game. So Joe Louis could turn around and and use it against him. So Joe Frazier's style is tailor made for Joe Louis, and Joe Louis I think wins this fight by knockout in the 15th round. But anyway, that was the distance. Thanks for watching. Peace.